The Ugandan economy has for many years been dependent on subsistence agriculture. With a soaring population of close to 30 million, less than 1 million engage in formal business activity. This creates a low taxable base and has posed numerous challenges for tax administration in Uganda. In September 1991, Uganda Revenue Authority (URA) was established, making it the first tax administration to adopt the Revenue Authority model in Africa. URA was created as a single executive agency to collect revenue on behalf of government, operating within an expenditure budget voted by Parliament. This was meant to address low revenue collections and inefficiencies in the tax departments that were under the Ministry of Finance. The creation of URA as a semi-autonomous tax body saw a marked improvement in revenue collections. In 1991, the tax to GDP ratio was 6.5%, and by 1996-97, it had risen to 11.5%. Government could now fund some of its programs from the revenue collected. However, from 1996 to 97, the tax to GDP ratio stagnated at around 11%. This prompted the government to initiate a number of reforms to improve tax administration and revenue collections. These included, among others, minimizing costs of tax administration, harmonizing tax laws and rationalizing tax rates and tariffs, establishing the Tax Appeal Tribunal (TAT) in 1997, which is a mechanism for arbitration and settling tax disputes. The major tax reform in this period was the implementation of the Value-Added Tax (VAT) Act 1996. With the creation of these tax reforms, strong administrative support was required. However, in the process of building the support structures, there was a replication of departments, which turned URA into a tall organization structure with 18 salary grades. With such a segmented structure, there was duplication of roles and bureaucracy in decision-making. The management in place was perceived as highly authoritative, impacting on staff motivation. This, coupled with the manual systems, resulted into poor service delivery. The public perception of URA was that of a high-handed, insensitive, corrupt, and inefficient organization. Taxpayers and staff treated each other with suspicion, and this resulted in poor working relationships.
Whenever you talked about URA, people would run away. The owners of the shops or the businesses would close and would claim to be hospitalized or gone for a funeral.
Abasuubuzi baali bamenyeewo enkolagana n'aba URA. Mu bayisibwanga bubi, banyaganga ebintu byabwe, bajjanga ne bateekako emisolo emingi, banyaganga ebintu byabwe nti sibisasudde, ne baleetawo obukyayi bungi nnyo wakati waabwe n'ekitongole ekyo. Naye bwe baalabanga abeerevenue nga bagala kubakuba bukubi, abalala oluusi nga bagalawo n'amaduuka gaabwe. Bwe bajjanga gye tuli nga batutwalanga ababbi, batutwalanga kwegamba omuntu ekitategeereka nga ate naffe tukontributinga kinene ku ggwanga lyaffe lino, naddala omusolo gwe tuwa, ne tuba nga twabajjamu mu biseera ebyo ebyali eby'emabega twabajjamu n'obwesige.
In the time I left my career, I had friends working in organizations like MTN, in the banks, yeah, like Standard Chartered. When we'd be together, you go for, say, a cup of coffee. You don't want to talk about yourself being in URA. People would repel us.
URA was a typical brick and mortar organization that worked 8 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. If you needed to access us or access our services after 5 p.m. or over the weekends, you practically would not get to us. Secondly, you found situations where we actually had no data or information to help us execute our business, neither help the policymakers actually derive decisions based on data.
Following the public outcry about the high levels of corruption, a judicial commission of inquiry was set up to investigate the depth of the problem. In 2004 to 5, The Fiscal Affairs Department of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, commissioned by the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, reviewed and made recommendations on the URA governance, arrangements, management approaches, revenue strategies, and organizational structure. This marked the beginning of the URA transformation process. To start the reforms, the board appointed a new Commissioner General following a competitive recruitment procedure, and the preferred choice was a Commissioner General from within the URA. Prior to this, all former Commissioner Generals had been appointed from outside the URA. The choice of an internal person was to ensure that someone with vast knowledge of the organization was at the top to bring about transformation to the organization. Mrs. Allen Kajina, a former Commissioner of Customs with zero tolerance for corruption, was appointed in 2004.
I'd been Commissioner for 3 years and I was into my second term, the first year of my second term, so it was 4 years. And before that, I'd been in URA since 1992. So in a sense, I'd grown up in this institution, and that helped me understand the URA, its challenges, where its opportunities lay, what we could take advantage of, what now sitting into office I knew needed to change.
Together with a new Commissioner General, the board set out to restructure the entire organization. A new, flatter and leaner structure of the organization was approved.
Now that structure, after the board approved it, meant that we literally had a new organization. The jobs had been redefined, and therefore the old structure could not sit comfortably on the new structure. That's why in 2004, a human resource restructuring exercise was undertaken, and staff were asked to apply for jobs in the new structure. That saw a reduction of staff by about 500 people. But it also reduced the layers to make decision making easier.
The restructuring exercise reduced the old structure from 11 to 7 levels, resulting in improved communication and general working relationships within departments.
In the new structure, a division was created for purposes of marketing URA. We call it the Public and Corporate Affairs Department, to change our face and at the same time to work with other departments internally to change the type of service we were offering so that the service would match the new image we were trying to create.
Prior to 2004, the URA image had taken a battering. In order to signify that URA was transforming, a new logo and flag reflecting dynamic organizational competence were designed. The objective was to create a new identity for the URA that was friendly, approachable, and trustworthy. This, in turn, would raise awareness and maximize taxpayers' compliance. The rebranding exercise has been a continuous process. Uganda Revenue Authority installed the URA call center, which was launched by His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda. This call center receives and responds to telephone calls from customers, accessing it as a toll-free number worldwide. Public and taxpayer education programs detailing customer rights and obligations have been put in place. URA carries out various talk shows on TV, which are relayed across all tax districts in the country.
Let me put the record straight, because there's been a lot of misinformation on this matter.
In addition, weekly call-in radio talk shows have consistently addressed tax-related issues, enabling clients to receive feedback and make inquiries by utilizing the toll-free call center.
And of course, education is very, very important. Because before, our people were not getting any education on tax payment. They were just getting notices after notices, and really they were just disgusted. Because people need to be sensitized. Why should they pay taxes? What benefits do they get out of taxes? And URA is doing this very well.
In March 2008, URA, partnering with the Ministry of Education and Sports, introduced a tax curriculum for primary, secondary schools, and tertiary institutions.
Give reasons why you think payment of tax is very important. Yes?
In order for the government to run the social services, e.g., hospitals, schools, and so on.
It's part of the exams that students will do. And that's the attempt to raise the culture from childhood, the culture of paying taxes.
URA has increased its visibility in the public domain by engaging in corporate social responsibility activities such as working in partnerships with local communities, participating in blood donation drives, socially responsible investments like erection of road safety signs along the country's roads and highways, distribution of assorted gifts to less privileged children in Mulago Hospital, environmental protection and sustainability like the reforestation of Koba Forest Reserve under the URA Goes Green project. The introduction of the annual Taxpayers Appreciation Day marked the celebration of exemplary taxpayers. On this day, recognition is given to outstanding taxpayers in various categories. Before the effects of the reforms could be appreciated, a transparent and integrity-driven workforce had to be in place. The integrity enhancement programs aimed at uplifting ethical standards of staff and winning over public trust have had a significant impact on transforming URA's corporate image.
One of the things that we did at the time of restructuring and appointing staff was to give them improved remuneration. We also put in a lot of effort to improve benefits. The staff retirement benefit scheme was established so that in addition to NSSF, staff now have something to go back home with at retirement. We also improved the medical facilitation for staff. We encouraged the creation of the staff council, and that improved communication between staff and management, eradicated a lot of the past problem of relying on gossip and suspicion and mutual fear.
The modernization of processes, systems, and people was identified as key to the transformation of URA. Modernization of processes and systems to eliminate manual systems and eliminate duplication of processes has been achieved through the implementation of a number of projects within the department. Through the Customs Modernization Project, the automated system for customs data, ASCUDA++, was developed, and it has been rolled out to 33 stations countrywide.
The DTIs are centers where you bring in documentation and you key into the system. The data is captured, it reduces on the time frame, you go straight away and pay in the banks. You don't need approval for somebody to tell you go and pay or don't go and pay. The system is interconnected with the URA system. I think these are services which have improved greatly the ability of our members to operate in a very smooth and transparent manner. If we are to go by the old system and maintain the documentation process that used to be in place, I think today would require over 300 acres of land to be operating from if this system wasn't in place.
URA has also implemented the Revenue Authority's Digital Data Exchange System, RADEX, to interface between Uganda's customs system, ASCUDA++, and Kenya's system, SIMBA, in an effort to facilitate data and information exchange. A key milestone in the transformation of the URA has been the interconnection of URA stations through the Uganda Revenue Authority Voice and Communication Network, URANET, which was commissioned in December 2006.
We had connected only 24 sites in a very painful way, very slowly. At that time, we used to have servers in each of those stations. We were unable to monitor them on a day-to-day basis easily, the backups and the version control and all that. Thanks to URANET, we are able to connect to these sites without going there. We are able to diagnose them. We are able to help clients that have problems out there. We have been able to merge voice and data, so we don't need to go through a telecom house to call a branch. We call them like they were intercoms.
By the touch of a button on my computer, I can inform all URA staff on something that's happening here right now. It's been revolutionary. It's transformed the way we do business.
In addition, URA has modernized domestic taxes. In May 2009, an internet-based tax system, e-tax, was rolled out.
E-tax, simply put, is what we call a tax administration system that has been designed to enable taxpayers get or access services from the URA, meet their obligations, the tax payment obligations. It also is a system that helps the tax administrator manage his business, and it's all been enabled using an IT system. However, to give it more clarity, a system that a taxpayer can use to apply to get registered for tax purposes, to actually file a return with URA, to actually make payments of his tax obligations, to actually know his status with the URA. And you do this using your TIN number.
I think it's become more efficient to start with. We're able to actually, through our liaison officer, to file our returns quicker. We're able to actually communicate better. And we're finding that the relationship is smoother than it was before restructuring. So that's a plus, to be honest with you.
The transformation drive has now been expanded to the retraining of staff to maximize the benefits of the new systems put in place.
After the recommendations we made about training specifically in customer service, we saw at least some of these recommendations being taken on when URA began having transformation or changes or modernization program. And that really made us also get or feel confident that this partnership with URA could work. And indeed, the partnership worked even when they started doing other processes of modernization, automation. URA began considering our input. Whenever they wanted to change any system, they would not do it without consulting clearing agents.
Benefits of the transformation are showing through.
We are no longer a typical brick and mortar organization. You can reach us 24/7. Two, we are actually saying, if you do everything well, you do not necessarily have to come and visit us. That cuts down on your costs of doing business as a taxpayer. Three, if you need any kind of advice, you can hook into the web portal, obtain it in front of your computer, or if it's not readily available, you can use what we call the help desk services on the system, liaise with us electronically, or call us and we'll respond to you with an answer. Therefore, giving better services and hoping to improve our revenue collections as we reduce the costs of compliance on the part of the taxpayer.
Revenue collections have since been on the rise. Government now funds more programs on nationally collected revenues. The tax to GDP ratio has started to grow again and now stands at 13%.
This year, when I presented the budget speech, I did not announce any new tax measures, and people were wondering how we are going to finance the budget, and especially the new expenditure. And I told them that I'm relying heavily on the Uganda Revenue Authority improvement in tax administration, and I think my guess was right.
URA's contribution to the national budget has grown from 56% in 2003-2004 to 63% in 2007-2008 and slightly decreased to 59% in 2008-2009 due to the global economic downturn. Government programs like the provision of universal primary education, universal secondary education, health services, communication infrastructure, and construction of roads countrywide benefit from this increase. This has enhanced the government objective and plans, specifically the National Development Plan (NDP). Likewise, service delivery within URA has been tremendously improved due to the modern systems and enhanced processes. The image of the URA has greatly improved.
Nti basobola okukolagana naffe myaka kuva mu 2005 2005 n'okutuusa kati, kubanga buli wabaawo ekizibu ekibaddewo ngenda n'enjogera nti kino tetukisiimye era ne wabaawo ofisa bw'avunanyizibwa ku nsonga eyo ne bamumpa ne twogeraganya.
The organization is viewed by the general public as a credible employer, with graduates and other accomplished professionals looking forward to working within the URA. Better dialogue has also led to enhanced relations with taxpayers and the public, and has led to compliance levels rising. The URA is now a benchmark for other African revenue authorities who frequently visit to learn new ideas and consult with her.
In the recent past, in the last 6 months, we've had administrations from different countries, as far as Senegal and Sierra Leone and Malawi and Ethiopia, to come and benchmark against URA. So in a sense, we've already begun on the road of professionalizing tax administration.
The first ever African Tax Administration Forum was successfully hosted by the URA in Kampala in November 2009, and this was attended by over 32 countries. It was a significant forum for the continent and a key milestone for Uganda Revenue Authority.
We started the transformation process about 4 years ago, and now in 2010, the process is reaching maturity. Major components of the transformation program are actually completed, and for example, the customs modernization, all the stations are automated. The integrity project, we are closing the project, but of course mainstreaming it into business. There are components of the program that are probably halfway, like e-tax. The domestic taxes modernization program is halfway and should be ending. We closed the project in June of this year, but continue the rollout of all the modules post-June. So in a sense, we are in the last phases of the project, I would say the last quartile. But as we go into the closing of the project and mainstreaming into business, we now look at the future. And the future of URA is not just having a good tax systems and new processes, but also having alongside professional tax officers who manage tax administration. And to do this, we will be building a tax institute. We want to build a tax institute that trains the revenue officers, and we are looking at not just Uganda, but the region. We want to attract Kenya Revenue Authority, Tanzania, Rwanda, from all over. We want, in fact, to make it an African Tax Administration Forum tax institute, so that the continent of Africa can look to Uganda as a center of excellence for tax administration. We will probably open it out to other professionals who may be interested, like the accountants in the private sector, like the lawyers, if they want to increase their knowledge. And that way it will become self-sustaining. So that's the future.